All right, welcome back to Flock of Socks, a podcast, episode 220. Today on the show, the next illegal migrant caravan is heading to the U.S., and guess which taxpayers are paying for their debit cards before they even get here? Hint, it's us. Then, a giant fat man is suing the state of New York because he was too fat to fit behind the desk they provided for him. Wait to hear how much money he wants. Then in Cringe of the Week, Wicked is proving to be more woke, gay Hollywood nonsense. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have a Guess What Happened Here section that you're not going to want to miss. All this and more is Flock of Socks, the podcast, episode 220, ranked the best new podcast of all time!
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Flock of Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, Black Friday is upon us, and Farmer Bill is offering his biggest discount of the year. 20% off site-wide, it's live now, and it's not going to last long. This discount is not just for their biltong. All of their grass-fed tallow bombs, t-shirts, hats, and merch are all 20% off as well. If you're doing early Christmas shopping, the tallow bombs and shirts are great stocking stuffers. If you haven't tried Farmer Bill's 1-pound biltong slabs, now is the time. It's perfect for hosting or just snacking around the house. If you enjoy fat on your steak, you'll love the biltong slabs because of all the marbled fat, making it a perfect protein snack. Unlike other protein bars, which are just protein, carbs, and sugar, biltong has what all the other snacks are missing, which is animal fat and salt. And by the way, animal fat and salt are very good for you. Sorry, boomers. And unlike other jerky companies that get their meat from overseas, Farmer Bill's beef and bison comes straight from South Dakota, so grab this deal and support American ranchers today. So take advantage of this offer while it lasts. Use code Black Friday at checkout. Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com. Black Friday is the code for 20% off site-wide. Go there now. It's linked in the description as well. Thank you, Farmer Bill, for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right. Thank you to Farmer Bill's for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Holidays coming up. Farmer Bill charcuterie board.
Ooh, smart.
Highly recommend. I've been doing that a lot. All right. We have a pretty packed episode. Light housekeeping, double cringe, normal urban, uplifting.
Okay. Last episode before Thanksgiving.
Last episode before Thanksgiving. We're going to give you more details about that before we get into cringe at the end of housekeeping. But let's start the show.
Okay.
Let's get right into it. We covered the Jaguar story from last episode, the gay ad they did. Mm-hmm. And there was something we missed that I needed to tell everyone immediately. Can you read the headline?
Jaguar Land Rover UK boss Rawdon Glover moves to head up Jaguar.
Raw Dong Lover.
Yeah. Remove the space. Put a space between Raw and Don.
It's a simulation wink. It's in plain sight. They like to tell us what they do before they do it.
So
Raw Dong Lover made a gay Jaguar ad and ruined the company.
Not surprised.
Not surprised at
That's
all.
what a Raw Dong Lover would do. That's it.
That's what a Raw Dong
no
Lover
jokes,
would do.
no bit. The guy, his name is unbelievable. That's it.
And then just like Bud Light did, we're assuming the next Jaguar ad for next year is going to be just Shane Gillis in front of the car going like this.
Yeah, makes sense.
That could help. Okay. MSNBC, as we know, is going up for sale. They're trying to get rid of it or repackage it because it doesn't perform well.
Yep.
And then Elon has been kind of flirting with the idea of buying it and then as a joke putting Alex Jones on mainstream.
Yeah.
But he also has said in the past that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. Mm-hmm. So it's not impossible. I obviously would love that. Imagine Rachel Maddow and all those people quitting or getting fired, and then Alex Jones is the new person on TV primetime every night.
And imagine there's like a week of overlap where Rachel Maddow's contract is still on and she has to hand it over to Alex Jones like from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So, I mean, there's a world where the entertaining outcome really comes.
I'm hoping for the best. And then Rachel Maddow has renewed her contract with MSNBC, but took a pay cut of $5 million. So now she's making $25 million. She used to make $30 million.
Rachel Maddow makes $25 million a year.
Makes you want to snap it back.
Makes you want to snap your own finger back or give yourself some lashes on the back. But I mean, it's hilarious too because they're exploring a sale and Rachel's like, yeah, $5 million pay cut, just do it. So she gets like a 3-year or whatever, 5-year deal.
I'll take one for the team.
Yeah.
Only pay me $25 million.
Just to get something on the books before an inevitable sale. And that's like an anchor around the neck of the network trying to sell something. So
exactly. Good thing she made the deal and got the deal done before the negotiations start.
Yeah.
We actually have her crying on TV because of Elon Musk potentially buying MSNBC.
Hold on. To at least 3. Can we put up the graphic of this?
Is that really what it was?
I don't know. I
think I'm gonna have to hand this off. Yeah. Sorry. That doesn't.
Hey,
No.
love to see it. Love to see the enemies crying and scared. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. But
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was a meme and she was crying about something unrelated. But, you know, the crying, the performative theatrical stuff, that's why you get the 25 mil, you know?
it's a good point. Jury's still out. Maybe that was for the Elon meme.
Maybe.
Hoping for the best. We actually have some new stats, too, about how 18 to 34-year-olds are watching less TV than ever. You can see the graph.
Yeah, Americans aged 18 to 34 watch less than 5 hours of TV per week. Those aged 65 and older watch more than 40 hours per week.
Wow. So the boomers are outperforming.
Yeah, but then again, it's just like, what are these 18 to 34-year-olds watching? YouTube? They're just on YouTube. It's a total shift. Netflix, does Netflix count as TV? I'm not sure.
That's a good point. Those younger people are on YouTube, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, which means that the alternative medias are obviously going to continue to rise as the viewership of TV, classic TV, goes down, which means Richard Rapoy and I are going to get the $25 million deal soon.
We're going to meet in the middle somewhere. We're going to inch our way up.
$12.5 million each, no big deal. Okay, we have to keep it moving. We have a packed show. It's a great show, one of our best,
All right.
right before the break.
Chill out.
We have a update from the 2024 Supreme Court words spoken.
Yeah, number of words spoken by each Supreme Court justice in the 2024 term as of November 15th.
And it looks like Ketanji Brown Jackson is number 1 again. She was number 1 last year, and she did it all over again.
She loves yapping, and she's close to 2x and it's all women. 1, 2, 3 are all women. Kagan, Sotomayor, and Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I think she 5x'd Clarence Thomas's word count.
And Clarence Thomas is one of the smarter guys.
He's one of the smartest, most brilliant legal minds in American history, and he's just like, I think, why say many words when few words do trick?
That's a good point. And then Ketanji, I'm assuming most of her words are through speakerphone.
Speakerphone on a public transit. Yeah, that's what she's up to.
It's illegal.
You can't do that. Oh, that's bad.
Hey, it's early in the show.
That's what we're up to.
That's what we're up to. That's the kind of bits we have prepared. Next, we have, is it Letitia James?
Letitia, yeah.
Who is going after Trump. And then Benny found a picture of her from a couple days ago, and he captioned it "Fear and Regret." And she does look scared.
She's looking sloppy. She looks like one of those St. Charles Cavaliers. A little fat, a little overfed.
Oh, yeah. I can see it with the ears, with
Exactly.
the floppy ears,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the droopy face.
Yeah, and I mean, we've shown it on the podcast before, but videos of her saying, Trump is an illegitimate president, and like, we will lock him up. His reign is coming to an end. And only to get elected for 4 more years. And, you know, federal investigations. I don't know. I don't know what she's going to get hampered down with.
We got the taste of revenge. And then Jack Smith, who was doing the election interference lawsuits, those all got dropped a couple days ago as well.
Yeah, a lot of the cases against Trump are people are just kind of like depressed. What's the point? They're doing shit like that, but in illegal terms. They're like, well, we're withdrawing our consent of and the translation is, what's the fucking point?
Especially now that Trump's going to return to power. Anyone, you know, they're hoping, I think, that this will be like a sign of good faith and like an olive branch. Hey, we're dropping the cases. You're not going to try and get us, right?
Yeah.
And I hope that we do still go after everyone who did illegal things and abused our justice system.
Absolutely. That's our system.
Speaking of abuse of our systems, the UN's giving out debit cards to illegal migrants in a caravan heading to the U.S., and guess who's paying for it?
Yeah, UN funds migrant debit cards with U.S. taxpayers' cash. The United Nations is providing prepaid debit cards and cash to migrants traveling towards the U.S. border, using funds heavily backed by American taxpayer. And we've covered this before. I think it was the 2023 fiscal year where we initially reported on this. The 2024 R4V plan outlines $1.6 billion in aid across 17 countries, including $372 million in cash assistance for over 600,000 migrants. And while this was initially labeled as aid for Venezuelans, the report specifies assistance extends to all nationalities. And critics, us, obviously, argue that the program encourages illegal immigration with funds facilitating journeys towards the U.S.
So a lot of that is paid for by U.S. tax dollars, which supports the UN.
Yeah, the UN is like made up of, it's disproportionately funded by the more successful countries. And America, like I think we contribute between 22 and 27% of the operating budget of the UN.
So our tax dollars are facilitating our country's invasion.
And when we always talk about backwards and upside down and people getting too far away from how the food is made and the evolving organizations, the UN was made after World War II to kind of like replace the League of Nations and be like this world organization so that nobody has another world war again. And now they've gone, times are so good, we're giving money to illegals to come to the country that funds us. So how do we get here? And this is like the thing about this international organization that's like it's got no country. It's just like people operating with a budget somewhere. You can't really airstrike the UN. But this is one of those things where it's literally a declaration of war. You know what I mean? Like this is an organization who should not be operating anymore.
Exactly.
And then Trump comes,
Exactly. And maybe we get out. I don't know how it works. But do we need to be in the UN? Are we United Nations?
It's for us. We made it up, basically. I mean,
let's cancel it.
I know. We're getting to that point.
We'll pick a new one.
If you're doing this backwards and upside down shit, what is the point, right?
Nothing's off the table.
Yeah.
And then also keep in mind this is kind of like the week or months of like wasteful spending is being brought to the front.
Yeah.
And we're all paying attention to the wasteful spending of our government, wasteful spending of the UN. We just gave another billion whatever dollars to Ukraine, hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine over the years now. And then North Carolina is still recovering from the hurricane, and they're saying, we don't have enough money to help them.
Yeah.
We have enough money to give it to these illegal military-age men from third world countries to come into America with a debit card. But our own American citizens in Western North Carolina are still struggling.
Very disrespectful.
And the theme that we're noticing is they're trying to do as much damage before Trump gets in as possible. Obviously trying to start spending-wise. World War III they're trying to kick off. Lots to look forward to once we're back in power, and I hope we get there, and then the world isn't just turned off by the time Trump's inaugurated.
Yep.
Okay, we have a Thanksgiving stat. We have good news for you guys for Thanksgiving. According to NBC News, Thanksgiving dinner is historically affordable this year.
You may be asking yourself, wait a second, historically affordable? What about all this inflation? Everything's more expensive. I'm getting smoked everywhere.
Well, when you hear the numbers, you'll be blown away.
NBC says the cost of this year's holiday feast estimated at $58.08 for a 10-person gathering, or $5.81 a head, dropped 5% since last year. The lowest level since 2021. So that's 10 people eating a Thanksgiving feast, where your plate's all overflowing, mac and cheese, stuffing, potatoes, turkey.
Ham, turkey.
And it's $5 per person, $5.81, right?
$58 feeds 10 people. What the fuck are you talking about?
So you just lied? You just made it up?
$58 is like one person's McDonald's order.
Wow.
On Uber Eats.
No.
Let's not. $15 of fees from Uber Eats and tips.
One specific person's order from McDonald's. Yes, you could argue.
But $60 for 10 people? What the fuck are you talking about?
It's like, and then I go on NBC's page and I go $60 for 2 people, and then I just bought a turkey that was $100. And then that's not even the sides or the seasonings or the butter or anything. And then I go, what else is NBC lying about? What else aren't they telling me? So however they cook these books, that's probably how they cook the UN spending books too. It's just like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's regular stuff.
It's kind of
$5 to feed everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of a giveaway because in like the UN spending, it's probably like a document that's this big with all these line items, and like you have to be somewhat sophisticated to look through it. But then you say, oh yeah, it's $6 a person for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What was that?
What'd you say?
What else have you been doing the numbers on?
Yeah. How many trans kids again? How many trans kids are there?
All right, let's get into our appointment section. We still have new appointments. We have a couple new ones. The first is, can you read that?
Yeah. Trump nominates Russell Vought for director of the U.S. Office of Management and Budget. Vought served the same position in Trump's first term. He was also the co-author of Project 2025.
That's what I like to hear.
So we're just bringing in Project 2025 people. Tricked you. It was real the whole time.
The plan is back on, baby. We had to all pretend. And then Trump was saying, oh, I never read it. He read it now.
My henchman read it. My henchman wrote it. And also, Project 2025 is like a very large, sweeping document with multiple contributing authors. So it's like there's no way every single thing from it is going to get done. But the not being scared of the media smearing you, in Trump's first term, the media would start shrieking and say, "Oh, you heard of Project 2025," and would succumb to some pressure or something. We're just full steam ahead. We don't really care. And there's a lot of people who have a lot of thoughts on how things should be run. And we're not going to disqualify someone just for participating in this, right?
I qualify them even more. I like Project 2025.
Me too.
And then next we have another person who is a friend of mine in real life and a friend of the show, Dr. Gorka. Trump taps Seb Gorka as deputy assistant to the president and senior director of counterterrorism.
Henchman.
It falls under henchman maxing as well because Dr. Gorka is 6'3", 250 or something.
He's gigantic.
He's a big, strong guy. So that's what I like to see. And then we've been talking about henchman maxing a lot on the show for months now. And obviously people are taking our advice and listening within the administration, doing what we're saying. But unfortunately, there are some people who are taking our henchman maxing advice and they're applying it to their life in a way that doesn't really work with reality, like this next person. So
it says, now you know my secret of masculinity. He's putting on shoulder pads. And so his shoulders are bigger. But something ain't right.
Yeah, he's masculine now.
He's the gayest man I've ever seen, but with wider shoulders.
Yeah, he gets Botox and lip fillers and goes on Grindr, but he's masculine now because of these prosthetic shoulders.
The definition of masculine keeps changing. That's an NBC News Thanksgiving is $5 definition of masculinity. So
yeah, exactly.
So, but at least someone's trending towards hench. He's henching. I guess we can't
deny that.
Disavow him. Yeah,
can't disavow, can't deny. But the good news is that type of trans behavior is going to be illegal and removed from our military. There's a new thing that came out.
Just in, Trump plans to remove transgender individuals from serving in the U.S. military. He's planning an executive order that would lead to the removal of all transgender members of the U.S. military, defense sources say. This order could come on his first day back in the White House. There are believed to be about 15,000 active service personnel who are transgender. They would be medically discharged, which would determine that they were unfit to serve.
15,000?
How did we get there? That's an MVC number 2.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a little too much.
Remember what we've covered on the show before, the guy who got all the surgeries done, the lips, he got his hair lowered. Remember we showed that video, the military guy? Yeah. We're going to discharge you for mental illness because you're insane to think that that was normal.
Yeah. And then, which is weird too, because a lot of left-leaning people are against this, but then they're also the same people that say we need background checks, we need to keep guns out of the hands of mentally unwell people. But then you have a guy who thinks he's a girl and they're like, give him an M4.
Yeah. Actually put him in charge of people. Make him an officer, right?
Send him out there and let him start spraying.
Doesn't make sense. And, logic and, normalcy is returning. So, the sweeping things that are easy to do like that, it's great. We're back. It's back to a mental illness. It always was a mental illness in the mental handbook, the DSM-5 or whatever, the catalog of all mental illnesses. And then all of a sudden, some people got behind it, like J.B. Pritzker's sister, and they started doing a marketing campaign on why this is normal and telling kids about it.
Pritzkers are in on it big time.
Big time. And the bad thing is that this is such a weird thing where if somebody else gets into power or a Democrat, they just rescind that executive order and then we ping pong back and forth between 15,000 trans people moving in and out of the military, right? So
A lot of time wasted on that.
but at least we're safe for 4 years, and hopefully 2028, JD Vance, which, speaking of which, we weren't going to talk about this, but Kamala Harris is polling as #1 for the 2028 presidential election and keeps saying that she plans on running.
Good. I was watching some Democrat thing about like who their hitters are and who the future of the party is. And one guy said Jon Stewart run for president.
He said, give me Jon Stewart and I'll have him winning by like 5 points.
I think
saw the quote.
Chank said that.
Yeah. Crazy.
Good idea.
Good idea.
The guy from TV with the scripts for him. Yeah.
Yep.
Let him do it. All right. We also have some new stats for you guys. We have the raw vote shift from 2020 to 2024. We have every state here, and every state Trump gained votes, but it goes in order of most to least. And California, New York, Florida, Texas, New Jersey, Illinois, Massachusetts, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Arizona at the top.
Yeah. I mean, this is really just a function of which states have the highest population. California, New York, Florida, Texas. But
Trump.
But every state shifted. Every state shifted massively, right?
Yeah, massive shifts for everybody. And then they're still counting the votes in California in some areas. Is that true?
Yeah, it's 20 days after the election, or 21 days after the election. Lake County, California has about 25,000 ballots total. 19 days later, 40% is uncounted. You couldn't get to like a 99 number and just say, yeah, whatever. 40% is uncounted?
I'm sure they're up to something.
Yeah. How does that even happen? What's the purpose? Who's in charge? There's like one DMV type black lady counting by hand.
She only does
Yeah. Licks her finger.
one,
Gotta get a coffee.
two, gotta get a coffee, start over. And then maybe,
Lost my place.
it was about 5,000.
Yeah. What the fuck is happening, right?
Whenever that happens, though, I always assume that that's just where they're beta testing their cheating techniques.
Okay.
And they're just trying it small in like a small California town, and they see how it works and see what their holdups were. So when they try to bring it to scale nationwide, they can adjust and have some experience.
And
I'm
again-
guessing.
Yeah, that's actually a decent guess. But again, this should be a crime. There are third world countries who do paper ballots hand counted in a day, 24 hours, right?
Yeah. Kim Jong-un, he won again.
Kim Jong-un, he won again. Whoa, 102% of the vote.
At least they count it
People
fast.
came from South Korea to vote for him.
All right. Our next piece of housekeeping, we showed last week the MAGA hat in New York City, and everyone was giving the guy bad looks. Mm-hmm. We actually have another one where it's people getting good looks in New York City for wearing a MAGA hat. So they say New York City is a secret MAGA society. People are giving high fives, people are giving pounds, good looks, nucks. Everyone's happy. That's the reality, guys.
Yeah.
You always find some lesbian who's going to go like this, or some lady with the dog. But in reality, you wear a MAGA hat in New York, people know it's rare. You're going to get a lot of positive feedback.
Yeah.
And the tide is turning fast.
Times changed. And Trump is still having great approval ratings on his transition team and all that. And, us on the more right wing wish it would be a little different or a little harder.
There was one woman, the Surgeon General, I believe, who was very pro-vaccine and masking during COVID. Don't love to see that.
But, we'll take it.
Israel shit.
Yeah.
You know how it is. But we're optimistic and we're hoping for the best until we're hopeless, and then we'll just get shot in the gulag.
Yeah, you get a little Israel shit. You get a little, vaccine excited Surgeon General, but then 15,000 trans people get banned from the military. So you're ping-ponging back and you go, awesome. What's that? Oh, great. What'd you fucking say?
Debit cards for the illegals that are in Venezuela.
We're
What?
funding that? Yeah. So, I mean, the game is the game. And all I know is with Trump, the general vibe is like every time there was, like, say you come up to a road and you're the Democrat and there's a decision to be made and it's right or left. Every single time they choose the wrong direction. It's just like do the backwards and upside down thing for the country. And I know that every time Trump comes to a crossroad and his administration and something has attention, they're going to go the right direction. It's really that simple. So
Feels good.
yeah.
Well, believe it or not, we're into our last page of housekeeping already. Like we said, a lighter housekeeping. Before we get to that final page, there is, like we said, no show on Friday. We're off for Thanksgiving, but there will be a Bonus Land Q&A that you're not going to want to miss. There's a Bonus Land episode dropping today and a Bonus Land Q&A dropping Friday instead of the show. So if you've been thinking about joining Bonus Land, now is the time. It's going to be lit. You can join Bonus Land and use that back catalog and have entertainment for the whole holiday season. I'm sure you're off from school or you're off from work, or maybe work is a little slow and you want to sneak some episodes in at the office, now is the time to join Bonusland. FleckisTalks.com is the website. Before we get to our final page of housekeeping, make sure you guys use this opportunity to tickle the post, help us juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment again, then start yapping. Notifications need to be on. P.O. Box needs to be full. Christmas gifts, P.O. Box. That's for us. We need it.
Chill, Fletch.
We have so many boxes in the garage, it's actually dangerous.
Yeah.
All right. I have a good amount of stuff for this final page of housekeeping. First is a new stuffing recipe.
Did you know if you take original White Castle sliders with no pickle, cut or tear them into small pieces, add finely diced celery, black pepper, thyme, and sage, pour in chicken stock, and toss all of that together really well. Then spread it into a casserole dish and bake it at 350 degrees for 35 minutes or until done. You get the most unexpectedly delicious stuffing and the dish that will disappear first at your Thanksgiving gathering.
All right. So it depends what kind of pig shit you want to stuff the bird with.
Yeah.
But I personally am not above that.
That looks good. And the family recipe for my family always has its meat in the stuffing. There's little sausage, maple sausage. It's a great touch. And that's $50 worth of White Castle sliders right there. So where's your number coming from, MSNBC? What the fuck am I supposed to do? I can't do the sliders this year? I'm picking between turkey?
It's like, what's for dinner? Well, we just chopped up some sliders from White Castle and you can eat it with a fork.
Yeah.
Instead of using the frozen ones, you should maybe go to White Castle itself and just get a box of 50 or whatever.
Yeah, crave case.
It's more fresh.
Yeah.
But if you are planning on using garlic for your Thanksgiving meal, make sure you don't buy it from China for this reason.
This man had a peeled garlic business in the US. He couldn't compete with China. Why? According to this 2018 documentary from Netflix, he went undercover in China and he found out that the inmates in Chinese prisons were peeling garlics with their hand. And some, because they peeled so much their nails fell off, they had to start using their mouths to do it.
The peeling of 20 kilo of the garlic. We see lots of guys use their teeth to cut off the roots.
Never buy peeled garlic from China.
All right. So you no eat peeled garlic from China. It goes in their mouth of the prisoners. They don't care. And actually, they are worried about efficiency and output.
Yeah.
So not only do they not care, like if the boss saw them doing it, it's fine.
Yeah.
They're not saying, "Hey, what are you doing? That's an OSHA violation." It's encouraged.
There's no fucking OSHA in China, guys.
Yeah. So you have Chinese prisoners peeling garlic with their mouth coming to a Thanksgiving dish near you. Hopefully not.
Yeah. So White Castle, good. Chinese garlic, way down.
Exactly.
But it does keep the cost down. So maybe, I don't want to keep going back to the NBC article.
Dealer's choice.
Maybe they're using the Chinese garlic in that figure.
So yeah, if you want to have a meal for under $60, you're going to need the Chinese garlic, but you get prisoner mouth juice on it.
You know, I know there's a lot of moms out there who watch this show and people who are kind of running the kitchen on Thanksgiving, and I want to know some tabs. I want to hear the final answer post Thanksgiving.
How much?
How much it ran you to run a nice family Thanksgiving. So if you DM us if you know that number, right?
Yep. Next, we're going to show a bird who is anting.
Yeah. You want me to read the description or something?
Let's watch the video first.
All right.
So he looks dead, right? He's covered in ants, and he's alive. And you might be thinking, oh, that's like a zombie bird, or he's got something wrong with him, or he's dead. Can you read what he's doing?
Yeah, this is very rarely seen, but guide Zahn Snaps had an eagle eye this day and spotted a hornbill practicing a behavior called anting. This is when birds purposely sit atop an ant's nest and allow ants to crawl all over, and this assists with cleaning the bird of parasites. So basically, it's a dust bath type thing. Ants secrete formic acid as a form of deterring predators, but some birds absolutely love it.
That's interesting. And
he likes it.
Yeah, he likes it. Yeah, exactly. He likes it. And you see how some animals are naturally getting rid of their bugs, critters, and worms? Mm-hmm. There's like a reason for that. And your great-grandparents probably did the same thing too, but we don't do those practices anymore. And now we have all the toxins, poisons, and heavy metals, worms, and bugs in us, and that's why everyone's gay and autistic.
What were our grandparents doing?
The Amish do it.
What, sit and let a bird come eat the bugs out of your fingers?
They had concoctions. like vinegar and like apple cider vinegar concoction, stuff like that. They were very focused on deworming and stuff like that. And the Amish do a yearly parasite cleanse as well.
Tell me more. What do you got?
They just do a yearly parasite cleanse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you guys probably know your grandparents, great-grandparents, they probably had something for the worms and the gut bugs and all the bad stuff inside.
Okay.
And we forgot it. And now everyone's gay and autistic. Something to be said.
Okay.
All right, next is something to aspire to or to maybe be a little white pill for you guys during the holiday season. It's a guy driving a truck with a girl. And it's an old truck, and he's cruising down the road. And he's got his arm around his girl. And time is good.
Old school truck with the bench seat.
Yeah. It's Americana.
That's nice.
He's living the American dream. It's not dead yet.
But he's got worms. The guy's got worms in his body.
Well, hopefully their kids don't.
Okay.
It's a generational process to get back to cleansing and detoxifying.
Okay.
All right, next, we were talking last episode about subtle George Floyd shirts for the holiday season. I got some submissions. I wasn't, I got some good submissions, but I was kind of disappointed with what I saw.
Yeah.
These are good. So we have George, and it's Pink Floyd. Mm-hmm. It's a Pink Floyd triangle with the rainbow, and then George Washington, Pink Floyd. That's my favorite one so far.
George Washington, Pink Floyd.
George Washington, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And then we have a bowling shirt. It says George on the front. On the back, it says Floyd's Bowl, Minneapolis. That's very good as well.
That's good subtlety, yeah.
Hard production-wise. Frosty, what does it say?
Floydy the Snowman.
Floyd, did you make that?
No. Somebody sent it in.
Okay. Not bad.
Not bad, but you just kind of put George Floyd's face on a snowman.
A little weird.
Okay.
And then we have Merry Christmas with George Floyd's face.
That's also just put in George Floyd's face.
And someone did this, I believe, an Instagram story. They just did a draft. It just says Floyd on a Harvard shirt.
Oh.
So thank you guys for doing that. Mm-hmm. We have not picked the winner yet.
Nice attempts. Nice attempts, though.
That George bowling shirt is actually really cool because I used to wear a lot of bowling shirts with other people's names on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the idea of it could be a mechanic's shirt, it could be a bowling shirt, any sort of like workman where the name is George and then the business name is Floyd's Automotive or Floyd's Convenience Store, and it says George and it says no fake 20s, There's some shit to be
Back
done.
to the drawing board, guys. Yeah. All right, well, that's the end of housekeeping. Now we are moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe is a gym girl who was sexually harassed at the gym.
So an Ottawa police officer just sexually harassed me at the gym. As one does, of course. He was doing chest flies. I was standing in front of him, and I was respecting him in his fucking space and wanted him to be able to see his form, so I kept moving out of the way so that he could see himself in the mirror. And after I did this twice, he stops me, and he's like, yeah, it's okay. I may just be a dirty old man. Here it comes. But I almost don't mind if you're standing in front of me while I do this. And I did what we all do as women when we get comments like that. I just went, ha ha, turned around and I was like, fuck, I hate men. And then I was really pissed and went to turn around to tell him, like, this is not okay. And here is why. And he was gone.
Your tits are out.
That's fair. That's extremely true. Her tits are out.
Her tits are out, which is clearly for attention. She has a bunch of stupid tattoos, clearly for attention. And then someone gives you attention. And keep in mind, he said, I almost don't mind that you're standing there.
Sexually harassed. I almost don't mind.
Almost doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Meaning I know it's not good to say I don't mind you standing there, so I almost don't mind. And then that's the reaction.
Yeah. And, it's a nice compliment. I mean, it's not like you don't have to believe it as a nice compliment, but it's not a sexually harassment thing, especially when you just like engaged with someone.
Yeah, and then it's it's just like a victim mindset from this person where like men talking to you about you is an attack, even though you're dressed like a hoe.
Yeah, and then this is kind of the thing with this girl's got like a weightlifting profile where she's, obviously tits are out, and you're going to have to make content, so you got to blow up this little thing into something bigger. He sexually harassed me when he made the most almost comment you've ever heard.
And we actually have another clip from her content. This is the other type of stuff she posts. Here, I guess she's doing legs in this one. But she's shaking her ass in slow motion. on her page.
I almost don't mind you posting that video. Like, you know what? But that guy at the gym sexually harassed her. Are we going to play the confrontation with the guy?
Yeah, let's play it.
Anyway, here's the video. And I kept moving out of the way. Oh, that's him. Ew. Oh, fuck off. No. I don't give a shit. It's inappropriate. I don't appreciate it. And it made me feel fucking uncomfortable. This is a place where I come to feel fucking safe. I'm safe. Oh, I should be. Yes, I know. And you made me feel unsafe. I don't fucking appreciate that. And for me to have to go, no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I'm fucking autistic. This is my fucking safe space. I come here to fucking lift, and you're fucking disgusting as I'm moving out of the way so you can see yourself in the fucking mirror. Fuck you.
Wow.
Wow, what?
I rescind my apologies. You're nuts.
I rescind my apology. You're nuts.
That's the way to play it, honestly.
Your tits are out.
Yeah.
You're wearing a bra to the gym and either short shorts or tight pants. You know, you get treated kind of how you present yourself.
And the guy also goes, I'm sorry for how I made you feel. And then she chimps out on him. She freaks out. And like, while she's recording, now that she's had like a ramp up of energy to be like, no, I'm right. And then I'm also going to use this for social media later. So I better go crazy on him. And then, you know, certain people, they're not really looking for an apology or an acceptance of responsibility. Like if this girl truly was like a little mad at him and said, I don't know if that's appropriate, obviously the guy's not going to do it again. So her mission has been accomplished, right? But she just is looking to freak out on him. And then he goes, you know what? I'm not doing this. I take it all back. You're a fucking retard. So, you know, this is typical shit from the female gym influencer class. And, you know, there's a reason people everywhere want to ban cameras and ban filming in gyms and ban setting up the tripods. And I'm sure some of you guys are members in like more downtown major city gyms, and it's getting out of hand. And these girls are wearing underwear. You can see their vagina.
That's the key problem, and that's the big difference from over the years. Girls these days are wearing their underwear to the gym.
Yeah, it's pretty
underwear.
Simple. And the guy was willing to apologize, but once you're freaking out, and then it's like if the guy had known you were filming, it's even more of an apology rescinded. There's no way. I'm not cooperating with a person like this.
It's like, hey, saw you in your underwear there. I wanted to say,
I almost didn't mind it.
Hey, what's up? And wow, what was that? It's like it's entrapment. That's entrapment.
Yeah.
All right, next.
That's bait car. That's bait car for the white middle class guy.
He's a cop.
Yeah.
That's a man's bait car. Mm-hmm. Next is a slightly different bait car. This guy is 360 pounds and he's suing New York because he's too fat to fit in a desk.
360-pound NYC library worker traumatized sues for $4.6 million over too small desk. So The guy is 6'2", 360 pounds, claims he's been traumatized, and obviously the figure $4.6 million is eye-popping.
That's 100 years of salary
for an NYC library employee. He was told in October 2021 he was told to work at the first floor service desk at the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Library on 5th Avenue in Midtown. His union eventually intervened after he said he was too fat for the desk. He was like, hey, I can't really sit at the small desk. They helped him get assigned to a different service desk. But nearly 2 years later, he found himself in a bind again. A new assistant director was allegedly not on the same page, ordering him back to work at the cramped first floor desk.
Too fat to fit.
Too fat to fit at the desk.
Into a table.
Yeah, and you know, this isn't like it's not like an airplane seat or something. It's like you can probably like back up or, you know, get in a position where you're not too fat for the desk. But things only got worse after he complained and got a lawyer involved. The director allegedly dramatically increased how often she assigned Martin to the small desk, which he claims was detrimental to his health and safety. And
I didn't know he was concerned about health and safety so much.
That is a 360-pound man. It was the director's way to bully William and intimidate him, showing him who's the boss. And a few months later, Martin was falsely accused, he says, of sleeping on the job and later suspended.
I have a feeling there's a videotape of him dozing off.
Sleeping on the job. 360-pound guy, what do? Are they active? Are they taking laps around the library? Or are they kind of breathing heavy and falling asleep at the desk?
Maybe they heard him snoring and assumed he was sleeping, but he just has daytime snoring issues from his regular breathing.
Yep. And here's a picture of the young man.
Big fat.
Big fat motherfucker. And, you know, he's suing. And I feel like we're at this place now where you kind of get in trouble at work and you're a black guy. I've seen it more with a lot of African Americans. They just kind of sue when things get a little dicey for them.
They're getting litigious.
They're getting very litigious. And that actually, litigious.
That is one of the black people names that we've been talking about.
Yeah, like a word that's a black person name.
Debris.
Litigious.
Litigious. Nefarious.
That's a good name. So.
I'm litigious. I don't know if they can spell it, though.
Yeah, it's spelled differently. It's same with debris. Debris is D-A''BRI. Debris. Litigious is L-A. Litigious. But yeah, so this guy, I don't know, man. I'm noticing this more and more, like employer relations with African Americans, especially if you have like a union or like a good paying job. Once they're in, they'll sue or they'll counter sue. If they get fired, they'll immediately file suit. And litigious, I don't know where we're going with this, but it's not good. It's not good for the state.
And I have a weird feeling that if you're in a blue state and you're a black person suing, you're going to win 95%.
Yeah.
If it's a toss-up, you'll always win. If it's kind of outrageous like this, you'll probably win still.
Yeah, you overextended, or they'll settle and they'll reassign you.
Just take $1 million.
Yeah, just take five weeks off paid vacation and come back and you get a raise, you know?
Yeah.
And it's always taking advantage of, you know, an NYC city employee. It's like, who pays for that? The taxpayer. So they're suing. It's like you hire a bad employee who's probably sleeping on the job. I don't know the
He's
details.
at least snoring on the job.
He's 360. He snores while his eyes are open. You know, like a fat guy sleeps with one eye kind of open. You're like, is he alive? Is he okay? You know, I know a lot about that. But I don't know. It's bad for everyone, and these people shouldn't be hired in the first place.
Good point. All right, let's move on to our next clip, the fat Kamala RRB type.
Yeah, this guy looks exactly like me.
Last night really sucked. I just want to check in and ask how you're doing today. And I also want to ask, what are you doing to take care of yourself today? I think, you know, with the news, we all are feeling pretty down.
You get the point.
It's a good thing we don't do doppels anymore. You look exactly like this pig. What is your deal? Your glasses are a little different.
This guy pops off his shirt, and then he has the double nipple rings, double nipped up, and he frames the camera in a way to show his fattest angle. What is this, fetish shit?
Yeah, he's getting off on that.
He gets off, or people get off on him.
We were debating before. How much does he weigh? I think he's 4'10".
380, I think. Upper threes. Depends on his height.
Well, upper threes.
Yeah.
Well, upper threes.
Upper threes.
4'10" is my guess.
Okay.
All right. Next is
the guy looked exactly like me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a doppel.
Yeah.
That's why we do them.
Yep.
Okay. Next is a woman who's scared about abortion, and now her kid is scared too.
She's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. She said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people, and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that
Why is your 12-year-old talking like that?
Sounds like your 12-year-old is mirroring mommy, and mommy's bringing home emotional stuff from work.
Exactly. Mommy's on some weird Handmaid's Tale shit, and then the kid who's 12 isn't even old enough to understand it, but knows to mirror mom's emotions about certain topics, and that's what you have here. And you have like a very sick situation where like a 12-year-old is talking about being raped.
Mommy fucked up the daughter.
That's so bad. And hopefully mommy tells you to stay away from the migrant shelters in LA. Yeah. They're in LA, which is also like the last place that's ever going to not have abortions. It's weird to see it. Hopefully there's a Chad dad there who's going to calm everyone down.
Uh-oh, mommy's neuroses is going on everyone in the house. Where's dad? He's gone. He left.
Yeah, dad is probably poisoned by seed oils and worms, and probably gay too.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it goes. But how about that? That like a 12-year-old talking like in a fear-based way like that? Like, wouldn't that be something that you don't even really bring up for a few years?
And it's funny because this woman goes on the news and tries to emotionally manipulate the audience, who's probably a little perceptive to it. And she's like, well, I've already done the emotional manipulation to my 12-year-old, so why wouldn't it work on you too?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, don't be too down or too depressed about that. Not all moms are on this feminist wave. I found a tweet that kind of sums up like modern day feminism and why it exists. Can you give it a read, please?
When you think about it, feminism was just the solution for ugly women. No ultra hot woman cared about being a stay-at-home mom and hanging out with the kids. The ugly ones couldn't participate, so they just dragged everyone down with them, crabs in a bucket.
That rings true.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent. And then we're going to give a little white pill and cringe because it's the holiday week. Thanksgiving is coming up. We have a lovely young mom who has a baby daughter, and look how happy she is.
You're scared to have a baby? Watch this video. We're just cuddling in the bed. I'm gonna go pick up In-N-Out. We went on a walk today. I went and tried Dunkin' for the first time. Like, this is like the dream life. I'm packing for our little trip we're going on tomorrow. We like to match. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. She's my best friend. We literally are just together 24/7. I'm gonna make some cookies. She's gonna take a little bath. We're just gonna hang out until my husband gets home.
Isn't that nice?
That's the dream.
That's Americana.
Yeah.
You ride in the pickup truck with her.
Nice baby.
You get a baby. They hang out all day. You work. You support them. What else do you need to do?
You never talk about Donald Trump and rape and weird shit.
Yeah.
That lady doesn't talk about that.
That's a good point.
Only a manic woman like this Muppet before.
On pills.
Yeah.
Next, we have another manic woman. We're getting back to the dark shit.
We can only show you a brief shimmer of gold in Cringe.
All right, can you read the dark shit, please?
Yeah, this woman says, when my daughter was 10, she played soccer. There was a trans kid on her team. The kids didn't care and they played soccer. At break, they all ate oranges. Stop transphobia.
Oh. So all of the trans debate can just be boiled down to 10-year-olds playing a soccer game when all the kids are like the same age and size and no one's in puberty yet and they're all just like children.
Yeah.
That's what that's what it was the whole time, guys. Not some man spiking a volleyball on your daughter's face in high school or taking a scholarship or a first place trophy. It's 10-year-old kids eating oranges. That's what the trans stuff debate was.
Yeah, when the kids aren't even good enough to really play soccer and the game is like 8-5 and it just everybody scores. It doesn't matter. And it's funny because she takes the example for her use where she's like, oh, it was 10 years old and it's before the man can really dominate, right? You know, girls mature faster than boys at that age. She takes that and she goes, yeah, you know, that's fine. But when they're that young, it actually makes it even darker. Because what's a trans kid? What's a 10-year-old trans kid?
That's a good point. She's using the example like it's no big deal, but you're actually revealing that there's a 10-year-old trans kid.
Yeah.
What's that part?
Whose parents? Let me see the parents of the 10-year-old trans kid.
Listen
because
to a 10-year-old?
That's like a vegan cat. And again, it's very fascinating to watch like a woman learn the wrong lesson from her own anecdote, her own story. She's like, they ate oranges. It was no big deal. And it's like, wait, you said the kid was 10? Like in the Trump administration, we call someone.
You go to Guantanamo for that.
You go to Guantanamo.
And then obviously the trans stuff is leaking into the schools faster than ever. There's a new school that's adding it to their, what's it called, their curriculum?
Yeah. Parents at Hillside Elementary School in New York were sent an email informing them that they are implementing a new gender identity curriculum for kindergartners. Children will be taught about gender identity, pronoun, and other gender ideology vocabulary, such as cisgender, transgender, and non-binary. Public schools are trying to groom your kids, says Lives of TikTok, which obviously this has been ongoing, and this is something that the Department of Education, Linda McMahon, needs to body slam some of these lessons here.
Send Kash Patel in.
Yeah.
And then there's another glimmer of gold here, another glimmer of hope. Especially from COVID, when everyone was like working from home and teaching their kids at home themselves, or just paying attention to the curriculums.
Yeah.
This person tweeted something about what the kids are learning, and it's very insightful if you're thinking about becoming a homeschooler.
He said, homeschooling showed me you can teach the K-5 math curriculum to a 6-year-old in 6 weeks with 1 hour of instruction per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glorified babysitting is what the school system is. You send your kid away. They can't really learn because there's so many other kids in the class. So they slow it down and dumb it down. They make it about regurgitating info and memorizing instead of learning how to think. That was like a big lesson growing up. I used to slack off in school or like try to get the answers and not learn. And my dad was like, it's not about what you're learning. It's about learning how to think, learning how to use your brain, learning how to conceptualize and analyze. It's not so much about like 1762, Columbia settled the ocean blue. It's more about like learning how to use your brain so you can think about anything with like the lessons you learn in school. So that, I learned that.
Yeah, 1762. That was the year.
So that's a big takeaway. A lot of people are kind of intimidated by homeschooling, and then you can teach your kid the whole thing in 6 weeks.
Yeah, and in way less time.
And then they can go outside. They can get sun. They can go play in the dirt and build things and jump off of stuff.
Yep.
All right, our last story from Cringe of the Week, Wicked, the movie where we're about the witch, where the witch is the good guy now.
Yeah.
Where the witch is misunderstood. They did an interview with a lesbian, and the energy of the people talking is what I really want everyone to focus on.
I've seen this week people are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that and feeling power in that.
I didn't know that was happening.
I've seen it, yeah.
That's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that was happening.
I've seen it on a couple posts. I don't know how widespread, but I am in queer media, so that's my,
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Just so emotional.
Holding space. They were really holding space, which the words mean nothing. Holding space, what? They liked it?
Gays played the song and they were going, I'm gay.
Gay people said this spoke to me or something. Like the words they choose, whatever.
Mean
but
nothing.
like you said, the tone, this weird kind of like hushed, like, oh, they really are? Oh.
Hypersensitive, hushed, emotional, on the verge of tears. Oh, yeah. That's what Kamala did too.
And let's play another one. This is from a different interviewer, but on the same press tour, right?
This was my first time ever doing a
You have been the light of the day. You are
truly-
such a gift.
You brought such light into the room. Thank you very much.
We appreciate
for coming
you.
into this room today.
Thank
We needed you to come in.
Yeah.
Both beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you,
love you.
Sue.
Thank
Have a lovely rest of
you.
your day.
You too.
Thank you, Pink News.
Just like loser theater kid energy. Everyone's so emotional and compassionate. And then they're also like delusional, where it's like, oh, you were the light of the day. You did so great. And it's like, did she do a good job?
It's like a circle jerk. And then
Yeah, you're great. No, you're great. Oh, we're the best. Oh, the men.
All in hushed tones because what we're doing is so impactful and important. And like the media will tell you how impactful and important it is. And then you tell them how good they interviewed. And it's all in like this hushed vibe where it's basically the volume that you'd use in like a domestic abuse survivor anonymous meeting. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're, oh, okay. Good.
Safe house.
We don't do it. We don't say anything too loud. Diane just got here. It's her first time. It's a very weird, I need a word. I need to categorize this. We reached out to Mimetic Sisyphus. We said, can you categorize this for us?
Hasn't gotten back
He
to us
didn't
yet.
respond. He didn't respond.
He will.
We need someone smarter than us to conceptualize this.
For this theater kid, emotional, overly compassionate energy.
Yeah, and it's an act. It's obviously an act. Nobody talks like that, and especially when you're trying to promote your own movie. So I don't even know what to call
You're
it.
the best. No, you're the best. Oh, this is so important.
Shh, a mouse is sleeping in the corner. We don't want to wake up the mouse.
It's like delusional. It's not based on performance or what you got done. It's you're the best because you're a girl talking to some other girls about important stuff, and girls don't usually get to talk so much because of the men.
Yeah.
The men.
Victim, but victimhood, self-importance, hushed tones, and that's why we need Mimetic Sisyphus to come in
And
here and clean this up.
at a time when like women are less oppressed than ever.
Yeah.
It's not like it's 1955 and like, oh, you have to stay home and make me stuff. Like they do this, and then they also when they're given an inch, they take a mile. They made the whole thing in Wicked gay.
Yeah,
they made the Wizard of Oz gay and all the animals gay.
Every day in the Emerald City is a pride parade.
Oh my God,
right?
yeah.
I mean, look at like...
That's actually great.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Even like the chickens. Those
Snow
chickens
leopard with
are
the little
gay.
cape.
The chickens are gay. They later go on to say that the Wizard of Oz guy's outfit proves he's gay. It's like the oldest movie in the world, right? It's like from like 19-something.
This is like what we do. This is our joke. Like, they're sucking each other. And that's what Ariana Grande is saying on the press tour. The chickens are sucking each other. That's like an us joke.
That's so true.
And they just do it in a different tone, in a different way. And, you know, it's good, right? And obviously that's not canon. That's not part of the story. That's not written anywhere on the script. That's just Ariana Grande saying it at the end. But it's so funny to me. Like, and, you know, I don't know. We're still trying to categorize this and put it into a box.
And these women are front and center and like, oh, it's your time. What are you going to do? What are you going to tell the world? And it's like, oh, Wizard of Oz is gay.
Yeah, he's gay. Chickens are gay.
Everyone goes, yeah, that's great.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
you did a great
thanks
job.
for holding space for us.
Holding space. What is that? Holding space. The guy, the fat fuck at the NYC library, he was holding a lot of space.
He's suing.
What does it all mean? What does it all mean?
How much space does everyone need? Yeah. All right, let's move on to Urban Decay. Our first clip from Urban Decay is a chaotic scene, and we're going to play a little game called What Caused This Chaos? And it's going to be a multiple choice question after you see the clip.
Y'all pussies, hey, get the fuck out.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Hey, stop popping out pussies.
Y'all twerking ladies. Oh. Chill out. Nobody fighting. Y'all won't fight. All right. Take it back. Hell no.
So it's pretty chaotic.
You get it? It's a group of teenagers taking over the street and twerking.
No peeking.
Okay.
We're going to play our game. What caused this chaos? Multiple choice. Was it A, a Little Dirk concert that Kai Cenat gave away 50 PS5s at for Christmas?
Okay.
Was it B, a beauty salon got looted after the shop owner was arrested for wire fraud and the door to the shop was left open?
That's pretty good.
Was it C, the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony? Or was it D, Obama phone?
Okay. It's definitely not C. Not a Christmas tree lighting. Why would they be there? It's definitely not D, Obama phone. That's just a bit. So we're left with the beauty shop eviction / door left open or the Little Dirk Kai Cenat PS5 giveaway. I'm going to go with A.
Kai Cenat?
Kai Cenat PS5.
A Little Dirk concert that Kai Cenat was giving away 50 PS5s at for Christmas.
Yep, final answer. Lock it in.
That is incorrect. The correct answer was C. It was the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
In downtown Chicago.
Sorry, brother.
That's what they're doing at the tree lighting ceremony. It's like you bring your family there. It lights up. It looks beautiful. It's got natural beauty.
Christmas, Christ.
And they pop in they pussy out there instead.
Yeah, that's what they do instead. They have a lot of free time, too, those kids, which makes you assume they must have got their homework done.
Yeah. That was my next leap that I was about to make after I recovered from getting the question wrong.
But I don't think that's true because according to the Chicago Tribune editorial, 4 in 10 Chicago public school teachers were chronically absent last year from a job with the median salary of $95,000.
So, Chicago Public Schools, they have a great union. The union's constantly extorting everyone. They demand 9% pay raises every year. And yet, 41% of their teachers are chronically absent, which is defined as missing more than 10 days a year. And mind you, these are the people who get off a week for Thanksgiving, a week for spring break, 2 weeks for Christmas. Every fucking federal holiday you've ever heard of, including President's Day.
The summer.
The whole summer they get off, and these people are still missing more than 10 school days a year. And, you know, that's just kind of where we're at with these Chicago youth. And, you know, this is the Chicago Teachers Union is one of the most powerful teachers unions in the country. And Chicago and the mayor are constantly like raising taxes to come up with shortfalls and give these ingrates raises.
And everyone says, oh, these schools need more funding. It's like white supremacy that these inner city schools don't get funding. A lot of these schools get more funding than 90% of the schools across the country.
I think it's $30,000 per student per year is what it averages out to. So and then they can't even read. They can't even do math.
Because their parents aren't teaching them.
So
but they do know strap check.
Yeah, let's... Yeah.
Here's strap check. They do know strap check.
Strap check, strap check, strap check, strap check. 100 rounds is on the chopper, got Glocks and switches too.
I like these guys.
G-flexes and Macalems, I wouldn't try it if I were you.
Yeah, you like these guys until they see you have a $300 watch or a gold chain around your neck. Then you hate them.
And they snatch it.
Yeah.
But also,
you're a convenience store owner.
Yeah. To be fair, it is, you learn life lessons by being a Second Amendment person who's a firearm owner.
Yeah, for some reason, I think the 100 rounds in Chicago might be a little extra judicial.
And the automatic Glocks, and they're kind of flagging each other.
guys-
Like, yeah, I got this one right here.
Flagging each other, keeping their faces off the video. That's pretty classic.
That first gun, though,
This
that
fat
chopper.
motherfucker could get identified pretty easily in this video.
Oh, I recognize that big fat.
You work at the library, right? Motherfucker, you working at the library.
Yeah, I'm about to sue him right now. I don't want to go back. Yeah, but that chopper, that first chopper, it's kind of a sick gun.
Of course.
That's my kind of, I can let that thing talk. It's my kind of blick.
Yeah, and in Florida, you could legally own that for sure.
Pretty good. Yeah. Maybe I'll do it. All right, we're wrapping up Urban. NYC migrant allegedly throws pal's beloved pit bull off a 14th floor balcony and walks free. Murdered my dog for no reason. That's what they're up to. Pit bulls, migrants, murders, getting let go free. New York City, baby.
I look forward to that guy getting tossed out of the country. But, nothing really to say there.
Nothing to say either, but obviously here's where I'm going to wrap it up with a overarching theme. When you bring in all these migrants from third world countries that aren't compatible with our society, we lose whatever we had left of a high trust society. Mm-hmm. It becomes a low trust society because of the least common denominator. I found a video of a guy in a enchanted European city, and he's showing what high trust society looks like. Can you let that play?
I'm currently here in Tyrol, Austria, and here you can see what a high trust society looks like. This is a farmer's market. You can get bread and other stuff here. There's a little fridge. 10 eggs cost 4 euros, so I can just take those eggs, close the fridge again, and then put the money in here. And it's also nature friendly because the egg cartons and egg boxes can be disposed here afterwards. This is what they want to take from us, because if migrants will come in masses to this place, this will also be gone.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
You dump some migrants there from Somalia, and they go, oh, there's eggs right here, and no one's watching. Oh, there's money underneath the table in this little slot.
Crowbar marks.
And then they're eating eggs in the street.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple, and there are still pockets of America with that. A lot of states like Maine, New Hampshire,
Martha's Vineyard,
a lot of those types. And then you start running the numbers in your Iron Man mask. Jarvis, pull up the numbers. And it's just all the white towns. It's all the white, legacy American towns. So.
Sad to see it go. Yep. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we have great uplifting stuff today.
Okay.
First, Memphis football team has an award for people on the team who do well. It's I don't want to give it away.
Let me get the ball. Show us the ball. Will, show us the ball.
It's a rack of ribs.
It's a rack of ribs trophy.
This is for when Memphis plays UAB, I believe. And
they give it back and forth.
Yeah, some rivalries have a trophy, and this one happens to be a rack of ribs.
Could have been anything.
Could have been whatever. It doesn't matter. What else is there?
Could have been a Moby Dick novel. Yeah, rack of ribs. That's pretty lit. Love to see it. Next, this is you.
That could have been Urban.
Yeah,
that could have been Urban. Let's be honest. Sophomore Travis Hunter, younger brother of Travis Hunter, is having a breakout season.
Congratulations, Travis.
So that's a family with Travis and Travis. Mom got lazy.
Makes it easy.
And the little brother next up, litigious.
All right, next story. The tallest woman in the world met the smallest woman in the world.
Hello. Hi.
That's it.
That's it. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
They're friends.
All right. Good for them.
They're hanging out.
Hello.
They're hanging out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. That's it. I have no comment. I can't be mean to people.
We're not being mean. This is Uplifting Gold, buddy.
I know. And I'm not. That's why I'm saying I have no comment, because I was going to turn mean. I had nothing good to say.
Good.
So we move on.
We're a classy show. And we're at the end of the show. Everyone can loosen up. We're at the end of the show.
Okay.
All right, next is we have some frog stuff. He's climbing up, and this is kind of like Bane in Batman.
Yeah.
Remember when he's in, not Gulab Jamun, what's the thing called?
The pit. They're in the pit.
Yeah. The
I don't know
Liam
what it's
Neeson
called.
pit. And he gets to the top. Remember Batman got out?
Yeah.
And he had to jump without the rope, and that's what was holding him back?
Yeah.
Like the inability to fail because you have no choice. If you jump without the rope, you die.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can get out.
Absolutely.
Abu Ramza.
Yeah.
What's Abu Ramza?
Abu Ramza is a terrorist in another movie.
Homeland.
Yeah, Homeland, or maybe it was a movie, but for a long time in our lives, we said Abu Ramza.
For any sort of Middle Eastern thing.
Yeah, we called him Abu Ramza for suspicious Middle Eastern
And
people.
Gulab Jamun is an Indian dessert.
Yeah. So you've really loosened up. You said I've loosened up towards the end of the show. Now we're just spitballing on old things we used to say and confusing synapses in your brain that leap from this frog video. So
the good news is we have another frog video.
Okay, this one?
This one is a frog goes up in an airplane. He gets in. He doesn't know what's going to be. Now he knows something's happening.
It's a model airplane.
And he's flying the frog around.
Good for him.
And he likes it.
I don't know about that.
You think
looks
he's
like
stressed?
he's trying to escape.
He doesn't. If he escapes, he's dead.
I know.
So he doesn't even know what he wants.
Yeah.
You think he's stressed?
Maybe.
Maybe a little. I bet he's secreting some sort of like scared thing.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
All right,
Everyone's scared. You ever go on a roller coaster? You get scared. He gets to experience it too.
There you go.
All right, next, speaking of two-way stuff, this is a suppressed Glock, and look how good it sounds.
Suppressed Glock 44 full auto. Oh my God.
That's so sick. Everyone has full auto but me.
Everyone has full auto and suppressed but me.
Oh, I have to go sign a paper.
Got to go get my FFL or something to get full auto.
Let me get your fingerprints.
Yeah.
We checked and you can't have it.
Yeah.
You didn't fill out the form right. Oh, I didn't?
I wonder how that really sounds, though. I think like video recordings can't ever appropriately record a silencer, a suppressor.
Like a high pass situation.
Yeah, I don't think you ever get the full picture. You have to be in the room with it. So.
All right, next is an old man who got a hole-in-one, his first hole-in-one at the age of 91.
I don't see a ball, honestly. Go over there and check. Honestly, I don't see a ball. Quick. Tony. Yes, your future's in there. Come on, go and get your ball. Can't believe it. Yeah, I told you. I told you. Yoo-hoo.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
Old man, first hole-in-one at the age of 91. That's why you do it. Now you can stop playing.
I know. Imagine doing something for the first time at 91. That's a little crazy.
Well, he can stop playing golf now.
Yeah.
That's what happened when I went fishing in Martha's Vineyard. I caught a little shark. Don't have to really fish anymore.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to do. All right, our last piece of uplifting gold is Trump's advice on how to handle stress. Can you read it?
Yeah, so this was from some old show, and the caller, they're taking call-ins, and the caller says, "I'd like to know how you handle your stress." And Trump says, "I try to tell myself it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. If you tell yourself it doesn't matter, like you do shows, you do this, you do that, and then you have earthquakes in India where 400,000 people get killed. Honestly, it doesn't matter."
That's a good point.
That's some perspective shifting from our president, Donald J. Trump. So if you ever, I'm nervous about a public speaking engagement. Fucking a tsunami just took out Thailand.
People are running because the water's receding and coming back.
It's a fucking movie. A mountain fell off. 40 people got cut off. They're dead in Nepal. You know?
You have to give a speech at work to some guy who's going to be drunk after work.
Have a little perspective, guys.
All right, our last piece of the episode is shout-outs.
Okay.
We have some decent shout-outs today, nothing crazy. I'm going to do an easy one first. Happy birthday to Ian, whose birthday is Thanksgiving Day.
Only this year. Thanksgiving moves around, right?
Yeah,
So
Ian.
every once in a while it lands on
Thanksgiving moves around. How was your birthday Thanksgiving, Ian?
Okay.
All right, next, we did a birthday shout-out for this baby a long time ago. Can you let it play? We have a newborn baby shout-out. Look at this.
Now, Willa, we're about to watch the best new podcast of all time. It's Fleckus Talks. Are you paying attention?
All right, welcome back to Fucking Socks Podcast. So very cool. We have a shout out from that baby, and then that baby has now grown up and is knocking over rock statues for us.
Good job.
Good growth. That's great growth.
Come down.
Thank you, baby, for
Thank
shouting
you.
us out.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank
Mom,
you, parents.
Mom, I have a feeling you set up those rock stacks. So you're part of the problem and the solution. Penalties offset, replay first down.
Yeah, we'll see you next year.
Nice baby. Let's keep it going and get something next year.
Let's track this baby's progress for its whole life.
We kind of could.
We can get him into college for her. All right, another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. No show Friday, so go join FleckusTalks.com bonus land. We have a great Q&A coming Friday and a great bonus land dropping right now. Huge back catalog of stuff. Go join, support the show. We'll see you guys next week. Have a nice Thanksgiving 100.
Thank you very much
We appreciate
for coming
you.
into this room today. We needed
We love you. Thank you.